I would like to thank Mr. Singh for inviting me for this session. I am Amit Kumar Jain. I'm
Morning,
looking
sir.
after operations information system in CRIS. I am a 99 exam-based IITs officer, and I'm with CRIS for last 2.5 years, looking after FOIS. So I'll be making a small presentation on FOIS, and I'll be giving a demonstration also on uh, two of the things of FOIS is Spurti and Trade Vision Development Portal. Then we'll be discussing about digitally integrated supply chain, how FOIS is working towards digitally integrated supply chain. Way forward, and at the end we'll have small quiz also, just to make sure that whatever we have discussed that has been understood. That would be like kind of reinforcement learning. We call it in artificial intelligence these days, to reinforce whatever we have learned. And feel free to ask any question if you feel so. So friends, let me first understand from you, what do you know about FOIS? You people might be hearing FOIS in your field working. What do you know about FOIS? Anybody?
Sir, operation of freight stock
Mhm.
in traffic view.
Yes. Good.
इसी का मेन यही मेन
Yes.
है सर इसमें
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं.
Commodity
Operation
price.
of freight stock, and freight stock means
Sir, any kind of goods stock, sir.
yes. So any kind of goods stock, wagons, rakes, train load. So the movement operations of all type of freight stock is being captured and managed through FOIS. So this is one part of FOIS, management of the freight stock, running of trains, attachment, detachment, examination, attachment of locomotive, forecasting, everything is being managed through FOIS, and it is also integrated with FMM, that is freight maintenance module, where we get data of the BPC. So we will be discussing about that. This is one part of FOIS, that is management of the freight operations. And other part of the FOIS is management of the commercial part, that is preparation of RR, booking of the cargo, collection of freight. So that commercial part is also managed through FOIS. Right? And then we have dashboard Spurti, so we'll be discussing about that. Okay, how much did we do loading last year? Any idea? How much was our freight loading last year? Indian Railways freight loading. Our 2/3 of the revenue comes from freight. I hope you people are aware. So freight is called our bread and butter. Anyway, those. So we have loaded 1418 million ton last year. Our route kilometer, 68,000 kilometers. We are running more than 5,000 trains per day. Freight earning last year was 1,43,000 crores. And we have more than 11,000 station sidings where goods are being handled. Freight customers more than 14,000. Share in 2021-22, our goods earning was 76% of the total revenue. Earlier I said 2/3, but here it is 3/4, because in this was the pandemic year 21-22, so our passenger earning was quite low. So the proportion of goods earning was 76%. But in a normal year, proportion of goods earning is 2/3 of the total earning. If we talk about our freight operations, unlike passenger operations, which is scheduled, all our passenger trains are running as per the timetable. So everything is scheduled, like from where rake will come. Locomotives are, there are links for locomotives, there are links for crew. But in freight operations, everything is demand driven, and train services are unscheduled. So which makes freight operations very, very complex when we compare it with passenger operations. So it is demand driven. When a demand is placed. Demand placement of demand means when indent is placed by the customer. Customers place indent at the stations for the wagons, right? So indent is like placing demand. Services are unscheduled. So when services are unscheduled, so we have to plan everything, which means that planning of rake. If there is some demand, I need to provide empty rake to that demand point. I need to arrange locomotive. Locomotives are not running as per the link here, unlike passenger services. Availability of crew, guard, and even path. Because for passenger trains, we have defined path, definite path, as per the timetable. But for goods train, we have no definite path, so we have to find path between the passenger trains. So arranging everything makes these operations very, very complex. We have very limited piecemeal loading. And of course, the expectations of the customers are very high, and they should be, because we are serving customers, so they should have expectations from us. They have expectations of prompt supply of rake. Whenever they have placed the indent, they demand rake should be supplied promptly. Timely delivery of the cargo after loading of the train should reach the destination as early as possible. Tracking should be available on real-time basis. And, and there should be end-to-end logistics service, which means that door-to-door supply is being preferred by customers. This is a cycle of a freight train. It may start with maintenance. When a rake is formed through wagons, connecting wagons, it has to undergo maintenance. Then it goes to the for loading, and after loading it goes for unloading. Then from after unloading, it is again available for next loading and unloading. That is the typical cycle of a freight train. The cycle of a goods train that is running, I mean, how rake is placed, how demand is met. So this is the cycle of the complete freight operations. It starts with placement of a indent. With the customer who wants to move his cargo, he places an indent at the railway station. Then, depending on the priority, see we have priority schedule for different type of demands, like we give priority to FCI, we give priority to military movement, coal movement. So there is a priority schedule. Depending on the priority and date of registration of the demand, rake is supplied, the rake is allocated for supply, then empty rake is moved, and before movement it may also require examination at TXR examination point. Rake is placed for loading. Depending on the expected completion time of the loading, the locomotive is again planned and crew is planned, and then loco arrives at the loading location. After completion of the loading, the locomotive is attached to the train. Freight is collected and railway receipt is issued to the customer. Railway receipt is required to take delivery at the destination. Then loaded train departs. It has to cross divisional boundaries, so it is forecasted at divisional boundaries, so that next division can plan movement of the freight train. Because next division has to see that if it has path, crew, locomotive, because sometimes locomotive has to be changed when there is a change in traction from, let us say, electric to diesel or diesel to electric. Then train is handed over at the interchange point. Crew changing take place at noted location, and route traction change may be required. Then train arrive at the destination and delivery is effected on the production of RR. Then after unloading, this train is again available for the next loading. So that is the complete cycle of a train, freight train. The things that I have marked yellow, highlighted yellow in this slide and the previous slide, those are all commercial activities. That is indent, placement of indent, and allocation of rake as per the priority, collection of freight charges, delivery on production of RR. These are all commercial activities. So You know how railway is managing freight operations. So railway board is the overall coordinating agency. They have complete idea of availability of the empty stock and the demand points. So like railway board knows that where are the demand points. Like for coal, demand is available in Eastern Railway, ECR, Southeastern Railway. The empties they generally move to northern part of the country. So they know that these empty box and rakes have to move from northern part of the country to eastern part of the country for coal loading. So that kind of management or monitoring is being done by board. And in case of jumbo rakes, that demand may be varied, that may be across the country. We have, of course, 16 plus 1 zone, but is that metro zone. Then 69 divisions, 305 section controllers, 8,000 stations. So every, like, based on the directions given by railway board, zone moves the rakes to the desired location. Then actual movement takes place in division, and that movement is being controlled by section controllers, deputy controllers, and station uh, at station level. If we discuss about the scale of operations, we are doing a loading of more than 1,200 rakes per day, freight rakes, more than 68,000 wagons, and more than 3.4 million ton. In fact, yesterday I think it was 4 million ton loading, and we are I mean crossing even 4.2 million ton per day. Per day revenue from freight is 450 crores. We have a fleet of 3 lakh wagons, 14,000 locomotive, and this kind of operations generate 36 million transactions per day. So it's a very, very complex kind of operations, and it cannot be managed without a robust IT system. FOIS is a complete solution today, which means that it takes into account train operations. It manages complete train operation, which means wagon, rake, locomotive, and all kind of movements. Freight revenue management, that is collection of freight, uh, issue of RR, collection of demurrage, wharfage, other charges. Customer relation management, how we interact with the customer. Customer is able to place demand online, get RR online. And we are also working towards integrated logistics solutions, which means that we are integrated with other logistics partner also, which I will explain later on. So, in fact, CRIS started its journey in 1986 for the purpose of development of FOIS and PRS. So, the objective was to develop an IT system for freight as well as for passenger reservation system. And in year 2000, the RMS part of FOIS was rolled out. RMS is rate management system, and in 2004, TMS part of FOIS was rolled out. The TMS is terminal management system, which is for the commercial operations. And since then, there has been number of enhancements and which are still going on. Digital journey which started in year 2000, which was like digitization of all the records, that whatever documents, registers we were maintaining, they were digitized. They were just converted into digital format. And now, then we moved to digitalization. Digitalization means process digitalization. So like forecasting, train running, the process were digitalized. So we were able to monitor everything, and we were able to process the things on system, on IT system. And now we are moving towards digital transformation, which means digitally integrated ecosystem in logistics sector. So FOIS design is considering two things, that is operational activity and commercial activity. So we have two modules, rate management system and terminal management system. Like earlier we said that FOIS is for wagon stock, for freight stock movement. So that part, that operations part is taken care by the RMS, and commercial part is taken care by TMS, terminal management system. So RMS has complete rake cycle from formation to dissipation. wagons, rake is formed, and then after some time, and I mean there are very few cases when a rake is dissipated, but sometimes rake has to be dissipated also. So dissipation means that it is broken into wagons and a new rake is being formed. Train running, complete train running, and route exceptions like diversion, wagon attachment, detachment, automatic capturing of the train running from COA. So you may be aware control office application is there, which is being used by section controllers. So train arrival departure is being fed in COA, and FOIS is integrated with COA to get this train arrival departure information, train running information. We have loco and wagon master management also. Although now we have moved to IRWMS, earlier FOIS was also having the wagon master, but now wagon master is with IRWMS, Indian Railway Wagon Master, and which is hosted on FMM, freight maintenance module. Other information like yarding, stabling, rerouting, this is being captured in RMS. Capturing of rake examination that now we are getting from FMM, and payment particular from the web digit. It also manages loco schedules, but SLAM is under development, that is software for loco asset maintenance. Once SLAM is fully developed, we will start getting loco schedules from SLAM. So in RMS, there is a wagon, for every wagon we have information about like first the wagon master is with IRWMS, which is hosted on FMM that I told earlier also. Then the history of wagon, like when it is marked sick, placement release, shop in, shop out, attachment, detachment, wagon on load, wagon on rake. So every information about wagon is managed in the wagon subsystem of FOIS. Then we have rake subsystem. So wagons make rake. So it has wagon consist, which wagons are part of rake. Its placement, release information, examination, BPC, movement order, rake handling, whether it was where it was last handled for loading, unloading, that comes from TMS. So we have rake history in the rake subsystem, and then we have load. See, what is the difference between rake and load? Rake means any combination of wagons, but when this rake is attached with a locomotive, it becomes a train, and when this train given some destination, it becomes a load. Load may not mean that it is a loaded rake. It is any train, any freight train which has been given a destination, that is called a load in FOIS. So for a load in FOIS, it will have rake, of course, then summary, wagon consists, train details, crew details, which crew has been assigned, loco consists, loco is attached, already attached, where it has to go. So then diversion, linkage with COA, because this load has been given a destination, so it's moving, so it will also get information from COA about its running. Then load path, so all the information are available in the load subsystem. Then we have loco master also. The loco master of all the locomotive, including passenger locomotive, is available with FOIS. See, FOIS was the first IT system for train operation. So, and passenger system, that is ICMS, that came later on. So the loco master is historically with FOIS, even for the passenger locomotive. And many a times passenger locomotive, goods locomotive are being used in passenger, and passenger locomotives are also sometimes used in goods. That is very rare, of course, but WDM type of locomotives, they are being used interchangeably. Mixed load loco. So loco master is with FOIS. So which means that attributes, which type of locomotive it is, what kind of service it is in, loco schedule, shed in, shed out. So that kind of information is available in the FOIS. That is rake management system. So it was about rake management system, which means that complete train operations. Now we are moving towards terminal management system, which is commercial part of FOIS. So commercial part means the commercial working. So like placement of demand by the customer, indenting, that is called indenting. Right, booking to, so this is complete consignment cycle from booking to delivery of the goods, starting with the indenting, rake allotment, loading particulars, calculation of freight charges, rebates, GST, railway receipt, like collection of the wagon registration fee. So when a demand is placed by a customer, he has to pay wagon registration fee. Then other freight charges, there are number of freight circulars being issued by railway board, collection of damage, bar fees, calculation thereof. Then we have balance sheet module, traffic accounts module. So all the commercial working of freight system is captured in FOIS, TMS module. So as I told you earlier, FOIS was the first IT system for operations, and over time, number of IT systems have been developed. Like COA, that is control office application, that is for the section controllers. So FOIS get, so all these subsequent IT systems, they have been integrated with FOIS, and there is seamless flow of information between FOIS and other IT systems. Like from COA, we are getting train running information of all the freight trains. RBS is rates branch system, which has data of stations, all the stations, chargeable distance, route. So FOIS gets data of the stations and interstation distances from RBS, and that is the basis on which freight is charged. So how much would be the freight charges? That depends on the distance from origin to destination. So those distances and the routes we get from RBS. Then we have SLAM software for local asset management. So we are in the process of integration. Already for 7 locations it has been integrated, and we will be getting local schedules data from SLAM. Then we have integration with ICMS, integrated coaching management system, and we interchange data of the locomotive with ICMS. Then we have claims module. Claims module is for any claim with regard to freight as well as passenger. So with regard to freight, we send data of RRs to claims module. Then we have CMS, that is crew management system. So FOIS gets data of all the crew, availability of crew, as well as which crew has been assigned to a particular train. Then we have integration with FMM, which I will be discussing in detail. So we get data of BPC, etc. from FMM. Then we have integration with traffic accounts management system for the purpose of preparation of balance sheet, error sheets. Then we have integration with eDrishti, that is the dashboard of railways, and we send data of freight KPIs to eDrishti. So this is about integration with railway internal IT systems. I'll be discussing this FOIS FMM integration slightly in detail because you people may be interested in this integration. So we are getting BPC data from FMM. So from FOIS, rakes are offered to FMM for examination, and we get back BPC from FMM. Then damage marking at loading and unloading locations. If a wagon has been marked damage at loading or unloading location and it is declared unloadable, then the data is exchanged to FMM from FOIS. Embedded empty position, if there is any empty which is embedded in a rake which could not be loaded because of any reason, that information is also sent from FOIS to FMM. Then from last 4 or 5 months, we are doing an exercise, I would call a mammoth exercise, to update the wagon numbers. Historically, FOIS has wagon numbers of 5 digits, but over last 3 or 4 years, the wagon numbers have been updated to 11-digit numbers. So now we are doing this exercise of updating FOIS wagon number also to 11-digit with the help of FMM, and we are validating wagon numbers from IRWMS. So I am sure all of you would be aware of this exercise if you are working in the field. And we are doing validation of wagons from IRWMS. Attachment, detachment of wagon, and this information is being sent from FOIS to FMM. This is how rakes are being offered by FOIS for BPC to FMM. This information, this screenshot is from the FMM. Then unloadable wagon details, like this BTPN has been marked unloadable in Ambala division at Khananpura station. So that information is also being exchanged from FOIS to FMM. Then this is about wagon mapping, that is updating of the wagon numbers. So like FOIS is offering wagons and they are being updated by the system or by users from 5D to 11D. So we are getting lots of support from FMM users in updation of the wagon numbers. You see, today with all this development of RMS and TMS, FOIS has become complete solution. Everything can be done online. So like placement of demand, collection of freight charges, issue of RR, everything is possible digitally. So it is complete digital solution. So only digital movement is required, that's of goods. So that's, of course, there is no other way. But all other processes are digital now. I'll give you some examples of, like, we have e-demand module where customers can place their demand, their intents online, and 95% of the demands are placed online only. And we have ETRR module, that is electronic transmission of RR. Earlier RRs were printed and issued to the customer, and the customer was required to take the physical copy of the RR to the destination to take the delivery of the consignment. So it was a very, very difficult process for a customer, because he has to take the physical copy of RR, transport it by courier or by some other means, or he used to send a person by passenger train so that his person with the physical copy of RR can reach destination before the train arrives, before the goods train. So that was a difficult thing for customers. Now we have started digital RRs and electronic transmission of RR also. So electronically, the RR is transmitted from the system to the customer, and then customer can transmit this RR electronically again through OTP authentication to his representative or consignee at the destination. So the complete process takes just seconds to do. Then we have digital payment facility, that is payment by on digital means. We have two ways of digital payment, e-payment and online payment. 96% of the payments are being received through these digital modes. And then we have also allowed to make all the requests online, so there is no need of submitting any paper for online requests like waiver of damage, warfare, or stacking permission, rebooking, diversion. All these requests can be submitted online on Freight Business Development Portal. So this is process flow for ETRR. I have already explained that this is authenticated through OTP. Once RR is sent to the customer, that is consignor who has done loading, he can send it to the consignee who has to take delivery through an OTP authentication process. And then once consignee has the ETRR, he just have to generate a surrender slip again digitally and show it at the destination, and he can take the delivery of the consignment. These are some of the statistics of payment. See, we have two ways of digital payment, e-payment and online payment. In e-payment, customer has to sign an agreement with railways and the bank of the customer. So there is a tripartite agreement between railways, bank and the customer, in which customer allows railways to collect freight charges directly from the bank. So it is authorizing railways to collect freight charges from the bank of the customer without intervention of the customer. So once loading has been completed and RR is generated, RR is to be generated, we need to collect the freight before printing of the RR. So at that time, CGS just send a request to the bank of the customer, and that money is deducted from the bank, and after getting the confirmation, RR is automatically generated. Last year we have also started online payment. which is 14% now. In online payment, like you make payments on Amazon or any of the e-commerce website, customer can also make payment through online means using net banking, credit card. Am I audible? I was getting a call. I hope this is not disconnected. Friends, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So, because I have connected this through my hotspot, and whenever I will get a call, there will be some disturbance. Okay. So in online payment, it is like any of the e-commerce payment, but payment is very user friendly in a sense that big customers. See, we have lots of big customers like NTPC, CIL, who do loading of 100 rakes, 200 rakes per day. So they don't want to get in this online payment. They are more comfortable in e-payment where CGS directly gets that money without involvement of the customer. So major customers, they prefer e-payment, but the minor customers, small customers, they prefer online payment because in online payment, they need not sign any tripartite agreement. So this is architecture of the e-payment. This was again kind of a smart contract that CGS just fires the request and money is deducted from the customer's bank and we get a confirmation and RR is automatically generated. We have a Spurti dashboard that is for the it is smart freight operations optimization and real-time information. So I'll give you a small demo on Spurti. What are the capabilities in the Spurti dashboard? Then we have freight business development portal that is for the customers. Again, I'll give you a small demo on this website. So let's go to demo first, then we'll talk about the digitally integrated system. Okay, just a minute. I'm doing that. Okay. Can you see my screen? Indian Railways website. So this is Indian Railways website. I'll show you freight business development portal first. Then we'll see Spurti, right? So this is freight business development portal. This is available on Indian Railways website. On Indian Railways website, when you click on freight services, there is an option freight business. Okay. So once you click on freight business, this site's open up. This is freight business development portal. This has been designed considering the requirements of new customers, existing customers, both. So if a person who is new to railways, he would be first interested in booking process, how to book cargo with railways. So this has been designed considering his needs. So first is booking process, how to book consignment. So once if you click on booking process, it will show you that there is a 4-step process for registration. First you have to register, then booking, then movement and delivery. So this is about registration. Then booking, you need to do demand registration, wagon registration fee you have to pay. Then empty rake will be allotted, rake supply, loading. So complete cycle has been explained here. Then movement will take place, and you can do tracking of the consignment using FNR number, and then delivery at the station. So complete booking process is explained here step by step. Then another interest for a customer may be find a suitable terminal. So like if I'm in some part of the country from which railway freight terminal I need to do loading. So that is another point of interest for a customer. So like in this is terminal finder, terminal, this is available in new to rail, find a suitable terminal. In this we have different criteria for finding a terminal. It's like pin code, near me, first is near me. So wherever I am, what are the terminals near me within 50 kilometers of my my present location, pin code wise, state wise, district wise, zone wise, division wise. So I can select any of the criteria. So like a person may not be knowing which division or zone he is in, but he may certainly be having idea of the district or maybe pin code also or near me. So let us say I select a district. District is the criteria. I say, let us say, what are the stations in Meerut, freight terminals. I can also select a commodity because sometimes selected commodities are being handled at some locations. So let us say I say sugar. I need to do loading of sugar from Meerut district. So it is showing me that there are 6 loading locations, 6 unloading locations, and their location also available on the map. If I click, it is showing Dorala, and the list of all these locations is also available on the right side. Dorala, Meerut Kent, Meerut Mandi, PMKM, and you see some small these points here. They are the logistic service provider. Right? So let us say at PMKM, this blue one is aggregator. Green one, which is showing the truck, is the truck service provider. Then we have warehouse service provider, and then labor service provider. So this is also showing that at PMKM there is no aggregator. There are 3 trucking company provider, truck service provider. There is no warehousing facility, but there is one labor service provider. So for a customer, he can just click here and see. Okay, yeah, it is showing here. So like these are the aggregators, 3 truckers. These are the truckers. Their mobile number, address is given. So a customer who is new to railways, he can directly contact the service provider for these services like aggregation, trucker. And it also shows me what are the facilities available at this terminal. This terminal is available from 0 to 24 hours. Terminal facilities, lighting, number of lines, handling is manual. So the information, complete information about the terminal is available here. Just so for a new customer, it is very, very handy.
Sir, screen is not changing, sir. It's frozen.
Screen is not changing. What do you see on the screen?
Just the Indian Railways homepage.
Oh my God. Sorry. Okay. 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 Let me change it. Okay. I understood. Because this tab has been changed. So that's why it is only, you can see Indian Railways website. So when you click on freight service, now you can see welcome to Indian Railways freight service.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good. Thanks for telling me. Should have interrupted me earlier. So this is Freight Business Development Portal. When you click on freight service in Indian Railways website, you come over here. It has, as I told you earlier, it has been designed considering the requirements of new customers, new to rail, existing customers, both. So for a new customer, his interest may be in booking process. And first, he would like to know how to book cargo with Indian Railways. So once he clicks on booking process, he will get to know there are 4 steps for registration. He will have to do first registration, then book the cargo, then movement will take place, and then delivery. So step-by-step process is available here from registration to delivery. Next interest may be finding a suitable terminal. If I have to load something from somewhere, I would like to know which is the suitable railway terminal from where I can do loading. So once you click on find a suitable terminal, this search is available based on number of criteria like near me, whatever terminals are near me within 50 kilometers of my location, pin code wise, state wise, district wise, zone wise, division wise. So a new customer may not be aware of railway zones or division, so he can just select any other criteria, maybe district, state, pin code, or near me. So let us say I select district, and I select a district like Meerut. And I may select a commodity or may not select a commodity, so it will show me results. But if I want a specific commodity also, let us say sugar, then it will show me all those terminals which handle sugar in their district. So like it is showing that there are 6 loading locations, 6 unloading locations. Their location is also seen on the GIS map. And on the right side, there are the details of these terminals. I can click on any of the location and it will show me that this is like Dorala. So their details are available on the right hand side, right? And on a particular terminal, you see logistics. These are the logistics service provider who are available at this terminal. Blue one is aggregator, green truck service provider, red warehouse service provider, and this yellow one is the labor service provider. So if I let us say click on say this logistics service provider at Meerut, it will show me that at Meerut Mandi there is one aggregator whose address and mobile number is this. Then one trucking service provider, their contact details, no warehouse, but one labor service provider. So I can see complete details of the logistics service provider also. So a customer can directly call this service provider for booking or whatever support they need. This also shows me this that what are the facilities available at the terminal. Like at Meerut Mandi, we have high mast lighting, 5 number of lines, manual handling is there, shed is there, 150 meter in length. So the complete information about this terminal is available in the terminal finder. So it is very, very useful for a new customer who has limited idea of railways. Then his next worry would be what kind of wagon is suitable for me. For a commodity, given commodity, which wagon I should choose, because India railways has more than 100 types of wagons. So I need to just enter the commodity here. Let us say again sugar. So there are a number of categories of sugar, kinds of sugar. So let us say click on sugar grade A. So they show me that for sugar, BCN type of wagon or BCN AHS M1 or BCN HL, these are the type of wagons being used. Tare weight of the wagon, carrying capacity of the wagon, standard rake size, mini rake size, loading preference, which means that last year how many times this BCN wagon was used for sugar loading, specifically for sugar loading. So last year 96% of the time BCN was used for sugar loading. So a customer can understand that BCN is the most preferred type of wagon for sugar. And it also shows me availability of the stock. How many wagons are available with Indian Railways of this type of stock. The next cause of concern for a new customer would be what is the expected freight charges? How much freight I need to pay? So let us say again I say sugar. I need to carry sugar. Let us say from Meerut Mandi. Let us say to somewhere in east. This is a smart freight calculator. When I selected sugar, that it will show me only those terminals which can carry sugar, which are open to sugar handling. Then, so I have selected Meerut Mandi Dankuni. It means that these terminals are open for sugar handling. Then I need to select wagon type. Again, this kind of thing opens. Let us say I select BCN and I say calculate freight. So it is showing me that freight will be 52 lakhs in wagon load, or train load may it will be 47 lakhs. So freight charges from Meerut to Dankuni will be 47 lakhs. Then again what are the facilities available at both the terminals, Meerut, Mandi, same thing. Then Kuni, what are the facilities available? Then how much is the distance from origin to destination, carrying capacity information, expected travel time, showing here that how much time it will take from Meerut, Mandi to Ranchi. Right. So, and I'm also saying that how much carbon you will save. This is real green points. How much carbon emission will be saved because the cargo is moved by railways instead of roadways by trucks. So there will be a saving of 112 tons of CO2, which is credited as real green points to the customer's account. So this is a smart calculator. It gives you complete information about the freight charges. You can also download these freight charges. There's a PDF document. You can download it and you can file it if you wish to. It is like an estimate of the things. Okay. So then one can explore freight incentive schemes. What are the freight incentive schemes? Then one can go for user registration. This is how a 3-step registration process. And for existing customers, he has been given login ID, corporate login, individual login, where he can log in and place his demand. Track and trace based on FNR number. One can trace his consignment. Freight, this is a freight calculator, again same thing, because existing customer may also need to check freight. Raise a request. Under raise a request, a customer can simply log in and register his request, like for diversion, rebooking, short distance. So if I want to divert my rake, he just need to select this, then select diversion, which division he wants to, location, and then he has to submit his application. If he wants to upload any document, that it can also be done, maybe giving some region for the diversion. And this application will be automatically submitted to the senior DCM of the location of the concerned senior DCM. And he will a request ID will also be generated based on which a customer can track his request. So there is no need of any paper submission for any of the application. Then we have commodity wise search also, because the customer wants to know specifically about some commodity like cement, clinker. So he can see, let us say it says cement. So you can see what are terminals available for cement, wagon catalog, which are the wagons available for cement, what are the incentive schemes available for cement, rate slab. So what are the rates category? This is in class D's. What are the rates 102 for different slabs? So this is very user-friendly way of looking at the things. Then tools and services, similar things. Partner with us if somebody wants to invest in railway. Join our. If somebody wants to invest in sidings, private freight terminals, invest in rolling stock. So we have number of schemes of investment by private parties in rolling stock. We have private wagons. So those schemes are available here. Then contact with us. So raise a concern means he can raise any concern with us. He can get details of the nodal officer, contact division wise. Okay. There's a smart contact finder also here. So if I say I want to find out anyone in Meerut, a concerned person in Meerut, so I just need to click Meerut district wise. This is district wise. So it shows me that Meerut district is controlled by 2 divisions, Delhi division and Radhawa division, and these are the details of the contact persons there, senior DCM, senior DCM. Then we also have Rail Buddy. This is the first of its kind chatbot for freight customers. So There are some standard queries like freight calculator, find a terminal, track and trace, and one can also ask any question like how to track my cargo. If I submit that, it will ask me, please enter your 11-digit FNR number. If I enter 11-digit FNR number, it will show me the current location of the cargo. So that is about Freight Business Development Portal. Do we need to take break or we can continue? We'll be moving to Spurti after this. So friends, do you want 5-minute break or we can continue?
Some break would be good.
Break, okay. So how much time? 10 minutes?
So yes, 10 minutes.
Okay, so we will reassemble at 10:25.
Okay, sir.
So let's meet at 10:25, right? Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
और वाली क्लास दूध वाली